So, hi, I'm Thomas, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happens if the 12,000 nuclear weapons, which are existing on planet Earth, will be used in a nuclear war. To know more about the whole thing, go to zero-nukes.net, and there you can register, and then you get more information. Then you will see how the whole thing works, how we are working on eliminating nuclear weapons from this planet. And this is like a whole series of videos. One video was about the facts, how many weapons there are, what this destructive power is. Now we are going to look a little bit what is likely going to happen if nuclear weapons are going to be used. First of all, the facts are 12,000 nuclear weapons exist. In the height of the Cold War, we had like 70,000 nuclear weapons, which we could kill each other more often than we can kill today. But again, one nuclear weapon is enough to destroy a whole city, and like the quite small nuclear weapons, like used for Hiroshima or Nagasaki, killed people in the hundred thousands. So if you have a nuclear weapon hitting a city, like hundreds of thousands of people will be killed immediately, and then several times over, that will be killed by all the after effects. There are estimations out there that there was a study just like some years ago from Natural Food. Was an article, and they estimated that about 360 million people would die immediately in a nuclear war. So that's like when the weapons are flying and everybody who is killed immediately there. And then they estimated that 5 billion of the roughly 8 billion people we have today will be then going to die from starvation, because that article was focusing really much on what happens to the food supply, because there's like all kinds of other effects as well. But one effect of nuclear weapons is all these explosions draw up a lot of dirt. This goes into the air, and if there's just one nuclear weapons test, that thing is like not so bad. But if you have like thousands of these things exploding all over the world, there's so much dirt getting into the atmosphere and then staying there that the sun is shielded from us, that we have like an overcast sky all the time. The temperature on the planet is going to drop. It's set to drop between 7 and 8 degrees over the whole planet, and depending on in these areas where a lot of weapons explode, it's even more dramatic. I've read figures that in parts of Russia the temperature will fall 35 degrees, it's all Celsius, all imperial units. So that will have dramatic effects on the production of food, and on billions of people really dying from food starvation. What we are talking about is, and they haven't really looked very much in all the other effects yet, because there's also all this radiation which is going to kill people. So we are talking about the collapse of civilization, that society is actually going to break down, and we will really be going back to the Stone Age, if that, because I guess Stone Age was a much more healthy place than that place which Earth would be like after a nuclear war. So one effect is all the immediately people are killed immediately from the blast and from the weapons itself and the radiation. Then there is all the dirt and dust going to be thrown into the atmosphere. That stuff is going to stay really in very high levels of the atmosphere for a long time. And so they say 7 to 8 degrees Celsius will the complete temperature of the planet fall. And we are talking about that compared to the industrial age, we are talking about global warming, that we have reached a little bit over 1 degree now, and we are talking about a target we don't want to have 3 degrees. And now imagine that from now to, instead of hundreds of years, that thing would be dropping in a year, like 7 or 8 degrees on the whole planet. So that would be the effect would be several times greater than whatever we achieved so far with global warming. So we would global cooling immediately several times the effect what we have so far. Because the sky is covered by dust, no sun gets to the ground. And of course, when there is not, it's going to be very cold, and there is not enough ultraviolet light for the plants to grow. So that basically leads to the problem that we are going to have mass starvation. There might be still some fish left, but in the oceans, but these ones will be caught then as well. Other effects we have when there is the use of nuclear weapons, when there is a nuclear war. Effects which are not immediately the one where you are killed by the blast, by heat radiation, or by the intense X-ray gamma radiation, which is going to kill you as well. If you are like directly near such a blast, all this radiation will kill you. The heat radiation can kill you, and of course, the blast of the shock wave of the explosions. All this can kill you. Then afterwards, you have fallout. That means there's all the radioactive material due to the explosion is distributed all around, and these materials will get into your body, and these ones will kill you. And then there's also one thing, it's called the EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and maybe you have heard about this. It's like when nuclear weapons explode and you do this in the higher atmosphere on purpose, there is an effect that all kinds of electronics are just burning out. So like everything what is like having a microchip and is not specifically hardened is like practically gone. So all the smartphones, all the technology, everything what is basically just destroyed. Cars, radios, smartphones, computers, all that stuff is gone. The military, they have certain equipments which they are EMP hardened, so there might be some stuff surviving, but then it's only the military which has this, and the normal population hasn't, because making electronic circuits so hard that shields them so much from this electromagnetic pulse is quite complicated and costly. So it's not done. So all your normal computer and everything, all the hardware, TV stations, whatever it's just gone. It doesn't work anymore. Also, all the satellites as well. There's an electromagnetic pulse. You can forget the satellites as well. So only like maybe the military has maybe done some hardening to their satellites, but all the other stuff is just wiped out. So, and this is like there's like most of the technology we have will be gone and not usable anymore. The people will starve, there won't be food. Then like society is really going to break down. You will have like millions of people, hundreds of millions of people dead immediately. Other people dying, or like hospitals and all these kind of things wouldn't be really working anymore, and would be totally overwhelmed. So it's like everything of your life, it's just like gone, and places like Mad Max movies will really be sort of a kindergarten to compare to what would people live like after a nuclear war. And you might think, but I go to an island in the Pacific far, far away. Yeah, but your island in the Pacific far, far away is also going to be affected, because this overcast in the sky will be everywhere. The temperature will be falling on the whole planet, even on your nice island, and also all these radioactive products are going to be all around. So you get your big dose of radiation as well, even if you are in a very remote place. So what then happens with us and our biology, even the people who might survive will get heavy doses of radiation, how this is going to have this mutation, and if there is any kind of humans Afterwards, we will see. I would say we will not see. We are better just getting rid of nuclear weapons because, like really destroying the human race. And by the way, all of the other species as well is, I don't think, a very good idea. And I would like to leave this planet behind in a more sustainable way, that we don't have this stuff anymore, because we will have more videos about why nuclear weapons are just a waste of time, money, energy, and so on. They are not needed, obsolete, and so they're just ridiculous. We just have them because we have them. Isn't that funny? It's just stupid. So there is now the right time to do something about them and eliminate them. So go to zero-nukes.net, register there with your email address. You get information how you can support this movement, because it's actually not that, it's actually simple. We just make a global movement, influence public opinion worldwide that this has to be done, and off we go. By the way, this is our hashtag 0N42. Thank you very much for watching.